So today I want to show you some of the worst water-related repairs that I've had to do. And in fact, I'll just caveat this by saying that water-related repairs give me the most anxiety. Half the time that I can't fall asleep at night, it's because I'm afraid that something water-related will go wrong at one of my properties. So, and actually when they do go wrong, they're probably the ones I'm most powerless to fix. I'm not a licensed plumber. I don't have a lot of plumbing tools, and short of just shutting off the water to the whole house, I don't really know a whole lot about what to do. Maybe some of you do. Let me know if plumbing related incidents keep you up at night as well, and that'll probably make me feel a little bit better. Let's see. I just want to go through, on one of my last videos I went through and showed kind of a brief overview of this house and where it has gone in the last few years. I went through actually and did a full video of an overview of the first full year worth of repairs that had to be done, and some of them ended up being water related. Surprise, surprise. So here's some of the water-related repairs that happened at that property. I'll go through it chronologically because that's how this album is outlined. This is in a room called the cabin room. This is a sewer pipe. Right above this area is the upstairs toilet. So it comes right into a bedroom, which is always fun. That right there, if it'll let me zoom in, is a droplet of water, which I realized, okay, there is water leaking from the sewage pipe connected to the toilet. Maybe it's clean water, probably not though. So what I ended up doing is just replacing the toilet, and I don't have a picture of the toilet itself, but this is a bit of the process. This is what it looks like underneath a toilet, in case you never knew. So we had to take off all the goop and replace the goop ring, I don't remember what it's called, and then strategically place the toilet right on top. And it actually did take a little bit longer than I thought it would, and it was a little more difficult than I thought it would be as well. Obviously you have to hook up the water lines back to the toilet as well. Yeah, there's the drip spot on the carpet. Gotta love carpets in bedrooms, in basements. Second repair was, this is behind one of the walls in my in one of the bedrooms downstairs. It's the water shut off to the whole house. It did not have a shut off valve. Not only that, but it was leaking water behind here. So I had a plumber come out, and that cost me about $500 for him to kind of replace a solid section of pipe and put a shut-off valve in there. Might have been able to do it for cheaper, but I was pretty desperate. Last thing I want was for this water to leak into this drywall here and for me to have to replace drywall. So I put a fan on this whole thing, and actually, yeah, I cut an area out of the drywall down here so that we could cut off some of that pipe down there, and mopped up some of this water, and it's dry to this day, luckily. Although I did have to have my plumber come back so that he could, because it was still dripping every few seconds after he left, and I said, look man, it's still dripping. So he came back and fixed it. So that was a hassle, and just kind of scary to think about. What if things start spewing from that hose, from that pipe. This was also in the cabin room, the room with all the wood, and as you can see, there's moisture on the ground. This is underneath the carpet, I had a tenant who was living in that room. He said, "Hey, this area of carpet's pretty wet," and I'd already been wary of that room. So I said, "All right, you're moving into my room. I'll have to figure out what's going on here." And sure enough, yep, it was fully wet. Luckily, no flood or anything. I didn't know if it was nature made, as in it's behind this door here. I didn't know if it was leaking in from maybe a higher water table than usual, leaking in because of pores in the foundation. I didn't know what it was. As you can see, it's leaked all the way over there. So I took the opportunity to take the room apart and didn't really see it leak again, but I determined there's a window up in this area, so I determined to cut out more of the window area to create an egress window and hopefully stop some of the dripping that had gone on. This is the outside of the window as I'm measuring it to order a new window. This is in the same room later on, further down the process. I've already got the LVP ready to put down, and suddenly a puddle in the middle of the room. Great. Well, what had happened was, let's see if I have a picture of what happened. I do. So just above, here's more attempts of me to make sure and figure out where the leak is coming from in the ceiling, because once it's on the floor, it could have really come from anywhere almost. Spots there. Is in the ceiling above the wood room, and luckily I'd taken everything apart already, is the bathroom. So bathtub, bathroom, you can't really see anything because it's really dark up there, but whenever the shower was on, water would start dripping from the plumbing behind the shower, so not in plain view of those taking the shower, but behind the shower, and it was dripping onto the floor underneath. So, dripping from somewhere behind here. So I had the plumber come back. He charged me another $500 to, I don't know if he tightened, I don't remember if he replaced some section of pipe. I think he did, right behind where the shower handle is. And luckily that stopped the drip. So again, a lot of money, but I was happy to at least have peace of mind. Man, that plumber made a living off of me. And by the way, the toilet costs around, I think $150 at the time, self-installed and everything. So last story, had the egress window replaced, or placed in there rather. This is all rough cut, and this is right after the installers had come and installed everything, and I was still getting wet spots somewhere around here. So I laid down a bunch of paper towels to try to figure out exactly where it's coming from. Paper towels in there, but I was pretty sure it was somewhere around here. I couldn't tell if it was coming from the ceiling though, or from somewhere in the window. And sure enough, had some spot pool up right there. That's a wet spot, so I knew it was coming probably from straight above that. And if we zoom in, sure enough, this area is the bottom, this area is the left. Sure enough, there was a cut. They overcut here, and they backfilled with foam, but this is not the right angle, but if you're at the right angle, you can see right through this crack. And so it had rained and water had come in through that area. So what I did, this isn't the last story, what I did, lucky you, is I ended up getting some silicone or glue of some kind. I can't remember exactly what, but I glued it from the outside and from the inside, all around this area of window. And it was another few months before the walls were repaired, so I had plenty of time to keep an eye on this area, and sure enough, no drips ever came back in. Problem solved. hopefully. Knock on wood. This is under the kitchen sink. There was drips. So, turned out to be from one of these hoses here that goes to the hot or cold water. I can't remember which. And so whenever it was on, I can't remember if it was this connection or if it was above, but it was dripping down to here. You can see a little droplet. So that was not going to do. So I changed out the hose, I think maybe both of them, maybe just this one. And you can see the fresh plumber's tape. And put a bucket underneath for good measure, just in case, and sure enough, water never accumulated underneath it again, as far as I know. So that is a brief overview of some of the most nightmarish repairs that I've had to make, and luckily none of them too bad. No legit floods, which I'm very grateful for. Also, another story I forgot to mention, I didn't take any pictures of it, but underneath the upstairs bathroom sink, the entire drain assembly came apart. The aluminum or stainless steel, not stainless steel, but it was a very thin metallic-y drain P-trap that just corroded and came apart. So yeah, got to replace the whole drain assembly and P-trap. Not too much money, just trying to figure out what to do and buy the right parts and then put it all together, hopefully correctly, and make sure it didn't drip afterwards, which it did. But anyway, long story short, I don't trust myself to do major plumbing things like anything to do with the water line that goes out from the city, and anything to do behind a shower assembly. I can replace a shower head. I can do the water lines that go from a faucet to a valve, but beyond that, I don't really trust myself to do much else. But even me doing what I can has ended up saving a lot of money. Learned a lot from YouTube, learned a lot from a family member that is kind of a hobbyist. So if you have those people in your corner, that is very useful to have. Other than that, electrical, I've had some nightmarish situations with that, but electrical isn't going to flood your house. Electrical is not going to cause a lot of damage unless there's fire associated with it, in which case, yeah, a lot of damage. But I haven't had that happen, knock on wood. And really, yeah, all that I care about at this point is water. Let me know what you care about. Let me know what horror stories you've had with water. Oh, I do not look forward to reading those stories. I'm just kidding. It'll just fuel my nightmares, that's all. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.